Hey, we return to Monster Hunter PS2. I have a few things set up because we're going to go fight Rathalos right away. I wanted to grab as many flash bombs as I have. I want to grab all of my paintballs. I've already made some traps. I think I'm going to have to grab a trap, like, deployment thing. I don't think the barrel bombs are going to help me specifically. And that won't help. Okay. So, we have currently some well-done steaks, some flash bombs, a pitfall trap. Got paintballs because we ran out last time. Now, from here, we're going to need more of these herbs. And you know what? I should really check really quick. Do I have enough mushrooms to make potions? Probably not. I don't even know where... I don't even think I have any mushrooms in here. Yeah, so that... Oh, no, I do. I'm looking at them. But I don't have any of the blue ones, which is what's going to let me make potions. I had to think about that for a second. So, in comparison, did I buy the trap tool already? I don't think I did. No. Okay. We're going to buy a trap tool. And we're also going to go now and try this Rathalos again. The intention here, I guess, being mostly to see if the trap, the flash bombs, not having to run around because of the excess of paintballs not working for me. These are things I'd like to check, see if they work, hope they work. And we'll go from there. If this fight is unsuccessful, maybe it will be time to change up the strategy. But as is, I'm going to be hopeful. Now, I don't know where he's going to start. Last time I think we got him in... Did he start in 9? Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I do. I edit the videos, but... That's okay. I also briefly, before I recorded this episode, I had to change my microphone settings. Like, I'm always playing with it, and as I'm going through this, it's a lot of for fun for me. I'm kind of just a tech guy. I like playing around with computers. I like trying to get... that Rathalos was sliding. I like trying to get the best quality items going, and learning how to do that, what makes it the case. Oh, instant into me. So I think my strategy for this, outside of talking about random recording stuff, is going to be to use the fact that he, like, is excessive with charges, and hopefully run him down more. So my original strategy with Rathalos is, like, you cannot really spend any time doing stuff like this. You want to be on that head, you want to be using your iframes, luckily like I had there. But this one, you have to be a little bit more fleeting. Like, he's moving like a fireball right now, which is good. We can get 2 hits in. But this front area is really dangerous now because of the hitboxes. So I think I have to adjust. I have to try and get my hits at the end of moves, get in, and get out. Because anything else, I think, runs the risk of me getting trampled and not having as effective of a hit. This looks like a fireball. Now, I'm not going to lie, that was a risky one. I could get charged here. I even briefly reviewed the footage, because when you play a lot of Monster Hunter, you definitely get monster muscle memory. You know, this guy is doing this, he's moving really slowly through this animation, he's looking at a certain place, he's trying to line up for something. And when you get accustomed to that, not having a monster do what you expect can throw that. You're playing against yourself, which is what I've had happen. Ooh. Now, one of the biggest differences in these first generation monsters that's really noticeable, and like if you go and play World or Rise, or even I would argue some of the games down the road that came before like the modern rework of the series, you have much more build-up. You can't instantly have monsters queue into things. Also, we'll see if it works. I found before, I think flash bombs are less effective in this generation. I don't know. But it just feels like I can't knock anything out of the sky or keep a fight going. Like, maybe that's too low? No, okay. Hey, I did it. And we'll have to just take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, you're gonna stall out there. Perfect. Let's get some more headshots in. Okay, we're already on a stagger, which I think is a better go than we had it last time. I'm probably gonna take a hit here. No? Okay, cool. Is he moving? Now, we have to go to the worst place. Now, I was looking at options on ways to deal with this situation, because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I guess arguably this is the generation of games where meat was more helpful. Like you could put down bait and you could get the monster to kind of pay attention to that. I think this is a good time for an early deployment of a pitfall trap. Maybe I'll be able to deal enough damage to the Rathalos in this arena that I can fight him here and make him leave. Which is, at the end of the day, what I'm hoping for. Ooh. Please don't charge me in this corner. Oh, herb stolen. That's not what I want. Okay, come here. Get into this trap. I'm missing out on good fireball hits right now, but we'll see if he can be baited into my trap, even though we're fighting his part of the area. The flying really far out of, Oh, are you gonna leave on me? Don't leave. I set up to fight you in this crappy area. I'm even gonna deal with the ads or whatever. Well done steak was stolen. No. I guess I forgot to bring more Felvine, which is fine. It's just... I don't know where he is. Okay, now I do. Are you gonna charge me, sir? Yeah. Okay, this is the best I can hope for in this arena for consistent hits. And I'm gonna hope comboed with damage dealt later with flash bombs will lead to... He's gonna charge? Yeah. Okay, I got out of that relatively okay. I don't feel too bad. He's gonna fireball? No, he's gonna charge. Which is good for me, because technically it gets him in my area now. Okay. Okay, you gotta... I know the stakes are great, but like... Gotta... Give me back my meat, yo. Alright. So I think that combat interaction in 4 went a lot better than it did historically for me. The pitfall trap definitely helped. Now, it's a shame that I don't have another one. I also feel like I should reapply a paintball as soon as I get into this fight, just to not risk losing it. Oh, and of course he's gonna leave as soon as I get here. But this is, you know, kind of reinstates the importance of doing the paintball. Now, I did it before. He's landing. Can I get... No, that just frustrated me. Okay, well, I've reaffirmed my knowledge of where he is. But he didn't seem to want to land. Radlos. Can you, like, stay somewhere? Yeah, it's really frustrating that they can land off the map. Because I really can't do anything over there. I don't want to, like, knock him down, because it wouldn't really be a huge benefit to me. We can try and get tail. Oh, jeez. Gonna do the charging? No? Okay. Here, we'll try another one of these. Nice. We'll just have to hope this leads to good damage for us. Now, every time you use a flash bomb, the duration that it's effective for is shortened between usages. Oh, man. It's a shame to lose a good hit on the head, but I gotta heal. Now we get a Rage Rathalos. Well, I'm presuming an instant charge. No, instant fireball. So this could be a death, but it's not because he's not committed to fighting us. So instead, we just get the heal basically to full. Now, I'll also note we've had more staggers in this fight. I've got a lot more good head hits. My hope is that he's further along and we can get him maybe at the 20-minute mark. Who's to say, though? Is that a fireball? No. Air jump. Yeah, it's that slow turn that can make me think fireball, but in this version of the game, clearly it can queue up the jump as well. Okay. 3. We're gonna get out of that. Oh, damn, I thought we got out of the way. Clearly we didn't. Oh, that's bad. Actually, it was fine. Yeah, I knew it was coming, but I couldn't correct the angle fast enough. Good opportunity to heal, even though it would have been a better one to hit him. I'm going to take one hit here and then get out. Alright. Now, he likes to fly around. I'm going to take this opportunity to maybe get some more herbs out of this. Because I think when he comes down from this, he does like a... whatever. Some sort of charge. But it's not excessively effective. He's just showing off his King of the Skies status, really, is what this is. Okay. Yeah, it's this thing. The thing that often ends up with him flying off the stage. Look, he's ruining those trees. Okay, dude. Let us do combat. I don't think I have any flash bombs left. Although I actually do. I think I have some in the chest. So if I die, I have options. Okay. Landing for a second to fly away again. Good. I'll take you anywhere but 9. It looks like where you want to go. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go fight 4. Jeez. And we'll hope that this is a good turnaround for us. Like, maybe I'll be able to get a tail hit here. I can. 2 tail hits. Oh, he's limping. This is a great sign for us. It means we might actually be finishing up the fight. It also means it would be really beneficial if... Oh, god damn it. Okay, no, that's fine. Now, this is going to be tough because of all the Velociprey. But it conversely means that things are generally going okay. We're doing a good amount of damage for where we are in the fight and where our resources are. It's kind of a shame because this is the version of the game that doesn't allow you to buy potions outright, so you kind of have to farm for them. Oh, I should have gone in on that. Oh well. Yeah, I'll let that tail do some clearing here. It's easy to die in here if he starts fireballing. Ooh, and I got poisoned. Not good. Very much could be bad. Oh dear. Exact opposite. Now, I don't have an antidote on me, which means I might just die. We'll see if that's what happens right here, or if I just get to sit on my red. Yeah. Should have brought antidotes. Completely forgot to. Usually I dodge that thing. But that's okay. Let's just get our flash bombs. Shame it doesn't let us get more healing stuff. Alright. Let's go. We'll have to make sure we avoid the poison charge in the future. Definitely one of the downsides of fighting in an enclosed space in the first generation, right? So you only move your camera on these, like, fixed angles. You can kind of see them now. I'm cycling through them. And you can't do anything in between that unless you're kind of, like, shuffling. And you can't, like, really look super up. You can look up, but it's ahead of you up. So if something is too close to being directly above you, you basically can't see it. Like, you see the tree stops being visible as I become under it. You can't look straight up, and that's okay. It just also means that a cave situation where Rathalos is flying at the top of the ceiling that he's allowed to occupy doesn't exactly give me a whole whack of great visibility options. Right in the face. Yeah, take that. You gonna spin around? No? You're gonna give me some free headshots? Oh no, I'm gonna rage him right away in charge zone? Bad. Ooh, I thought I was out of the tail, man. Okay, well, we gotta go for a hit. Ooh, okay. Gonna take the heal. He's gonna get out. Insta-charge me? No. Attempts to flee. Okay, we're right back to 5. So we must be close to the end of this fight. Eek. I'm down on healing as well. We'll hope that this flash bomb isn't at the end of his endurance for... Because I think 3 is where it is, and we've got him 3 times, so we'll see how this goes. I wonder if I can just get him right here. Nope. We are past that point. He's all stalled out, though, so I'm gonna get 3 hits. Oh, he's trying to sleep, and I took time to hit him in that sleep animation. Beautiful. Okay, so now he's charging. We're gonna run in, 1, 2, and get out. Oh no, he's staggered, so we're gonna get a 3. Because I'm greedy, and I want to win. Alright. One, 2, out. Okay. Didn't get close enough to take advantage of that one, so he's going to come back to us. Then get a 1, 2, then get out. Oh no. Okay, so I have 1 herb, and a really good hit could kill me right now. So I'm going to see if I can get out to use it. Okay, also good to note, we need to paintball him. So let's make sure that happens here. Don't go flying. Okay. That makes sure now we're not going to lose him if something crazy happens. But what is going to happen here? I don't want to take unnecessary hits because it's a Rathalos. Ooh, I don't like this situation. Okay, come on back now. Oh, he's going to fireball too, it looks like. Yep. Shame, that would have been a great hit on the head, but yeah, I can get him charging here, and we'll go and... I would love a tail cut to disrupt this fighting, but... I think, you know, at the end of the day, what can you do? Ooh, is this a... No. Oh, nice! There we go. Making much better time of that monster, Rathalos hunt. Kind of makes the first one look pretty bad, and that's... I think that's what it was. I had to remember how to fight first generation Rathalos. I remember you had to game the system a lot more. You can't stay fighting under it. You can't really like abuse the hitboxes or the hurt boxes and just stay in between its legs and roll in between and pick up your combo again with Great Sword. You're not fast enough yet. And the nature of it is you get stuck. That's what happened to me the first time I fought this thing. But this time through, I remembered how I beat it the first time I fought these. You gotta take your head hits where you can. You gotta push them out of areas you don't want to fight in. You kind of have to use flash bombs. It's one of the only ways to make them just stop long enough to hit them. So, that's the method there, and I'm glad it worked out for me. I could have been mining that whole time, but that's okay. I was too excited to just have pushed through the Rathalos fight. Okay. Not a whole lot of excellent items. But good money. Can't complain there. Now that we're done with that, let's put away all of our coveted Rathalos items. The scale, needleberry, webbing. Needleberry wasn't part of the Rathalos, but... Now, it definitely looks like it would be pretty excessive to actually go and get Rathalos armor, given that I only have a few pieces from that fight. Might have to do it a couple of times, and I believe you have to get a ruby for the chest plate. Let's look, though. Yeah, oh no, I can't see it. And it is notably better than what I have on, by far. You don't need... Interesting. Maybe it's like... It's one of these pieces. Maybe, yeah, it's the helmet, or the tacet, or something. Now what? Maybe you don't need it in this edition. Maybe it's on something I hadn't looked at. Now that that's good, what is next? I'm really flabbergasted at you defeating that wyvern. Looks like you're getting closer to being a true first-rate hunter. Let me present you with a sword. It's the sword I once used when I faced the single-horned wyvern, but no blows. Go to the place behind your house where there's an embedded sword. Oh, okay. Sure, dude. Kind of magical. Nice. Got like the hero's sword or something. Hey man, I got your sword. You've certainly become a first-rate hunter. There isn't much left for me to teach you. Now then, what level of quest would you like? Well, we have the 5th level. So we have, oh wow, we have some pretty big monsters here. We can do a Raytheon, a Bessarios, Iadrome, another, that's the Rathlos we already cleared, or we can deliver 3 wyvern eggs. Ooh. I think starting off with the 3 Iodrome is a pretty good point to pick up from. Oh, wrong person. And again, I recognize absolutely how, like, by far, my armor is not really of the level anymore. Looking at the Rathlos, if that's the entry level for level 5 star quests, then I am, what, nearly 10 points of armor per piece under what I could be. That being said, I think Iadrome might be a reasonable next step, because we're going to be able to get a lot of their parts here. In a quest like this, especially like hunting 3, I don't know the logic of the game, so I can't say specifically, but I believe that, like before, when monsters are split up, they share a split health pool as well. So instead of the full health of the first monster, you kind of have a lower value for each one. Oh, I should have brought poison. I just died because of poison. And then I'm gonna go fight a poison monster and not bring an antidote, so. Yeah, we'll see how it works. We'll see how bad it is. As I say, there's poison everywhere, so maybe not great. I don't even know where the big guy went. Okay, there he is. I guess I should paintball stuff. Ow. But compared to a Rathlos, like, not really all that scared. I think I just gotta keep mobile, because, like, what is it? It's like equilibrium and gun kata. Things like this, projectiles only travel in a straight line, so as long as you're in a position that a straight line can't travel, you can't be hit. I think that's the basis of gun kata. And, oh, I got a poison. Now, it'll just ravage me up until it goes away. It's very possible this ends me, and that I took this mission preemptively before, like, getting some antidotes set up. But it actually didn't look... Oh my god, okay. I was gonna say, it didn't look that long. So I guess it all just depends on how much I'm okay with healing out. Which is... Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's the major issue with poison. Is like, now I'm in the risk of dying just for hits that I'm accumulating. Ah. Okay, now I'm back. use some potions here, because I got a couple of these guys to go through. And camera. Okay, this is an acceptable place, I think, to fight. Would have liked to not take that hit, but whatever. What hit did I take that brought me from half to where I was? You know, I'm like right on my thing, so I'm just gonna go over here. Screw it. Yeah, you chased me. I'm gonna go take a nap. Save my resources. You can wait for me, monster. I'll be back. Yeah, you just stay right there. Okay. Now, let's hope he's actually relatively close. I say that because, like, you know, you can solo out of Lost of Rome in no time. And this guy has been, like, straight up thrown by my sword a couple of times, so I can only hope he is getting close to the point of death. And now he's running again. Which sucks for me, but I guess means that he's probably close to being done. Now, this is a good arena to fight. I say that only because, like, it doesn't seem like he has compatriots here. Oh, nice. That poison took out the, thing saver. Oh, I'm gonna roll into the next area. Problems that don't exist in Monster Hunter World. Alright, broski, come here. Let's fight out of the arena entrance. Yeah, like right here. You're right. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. So, provided I don't get paralyzed by these things, I should be able to, take my 2 carbs. Oh my god. Man, playing the original Monster Hunter is just like exploring a jungle full of ridiculous monsters that have, like, never seen humanity. And then you're forced to try and deal with all of them. You know, the other games, people kind of have an idea of what's going on. The monsters are a little bit more defined. Here is just insects and death and... Ow! Poison that I should have dodged, but didn't because I'm a derp. And you know what? I think it takes time to respawn the thing, so I'm just gonna go back to bed. Eat some rations. Prepare for the next Iodrome. Bathe in the joy of having been able to take care of the Rathalos with my current armor set. Because I'm still really... I'm going through the highest level quests basically in this game outside of the multiplayer-only content. And there's a few, like, exceptionally challenging quests that I don't know if I'm going to be doing. Post kind of finishing up 5-star, which I think mostly finishes the game. Those quests are like some dual fights and some pretty ridiculous, you know, combat asks. And that's fine. I think if this was the only, like, game in the series, I would be doing it. But since there's so much there's so much I'm excited for in regards to the Monster Hunter series to, like, play through and use this, like, you know, YouTube channel or whatever as a exercise to do that. Because it's mostly for myself. I like that, if anyone wants to watch these games or see people go through them or put them on the background while they're doing some schoolwork. You know, that's what I do. That's a great option, and I'm really happy for that. But for the most part, this is just me kind of wanting to explore some old games. Things that I haven't played for a long time, things that, you know, maybe when they released, they were not running as ideally on the original hardware. Maybe with one of the games that I have planned to hopefully do after I finish a couple of things, it was never really released in English. So to be able to play through something that I never got to experience in my own language, where I had to like constantly be doing translations while playing, which was, don't get me wrong, fun, but not the ideal experience in something like Monster Hunter when you have a lot of content to try and parse. Like, you know, you hunt one monster and you get like a couple of parts, and every single one of those parts now is something you have to like determine, what is it, how rare is this, what is it telling me about this. You got pretty good, at least for me, like telling like, oh, this is a scale, and then you like, you sorted colors with which monster had which color like stuff. So there's ways, but yeah, for me, this channel would be a great excuse to go through and play a game that I've kind of already played, but re-explore it and maybe show it off to other people. There is a desire in me to play Monster Hunter Frontier, which is like the MMO-only version of this, but it has recently seemingly been accessed by North American players in a create-your-own-server type of thing. Now, I had to suss out the legality of creating a series on Frontier, if I ever did, because, like, this game, I own this game. I own a couple of versions of this game. I own a couple of versions of Monster Hunter 2, and I own a couple of versions of Monster Hunter 3, and all the other games. I have, like, disc copies of them. So, for me, creating a series on that is fine, but with Frontier, I'm curious. Would it even be viable for me to create a series on a game that I could never have legally owned, even being willing to, right? Like, they wouldn't allow North American players on the server. So, even though I, as a player and a Monster Hunter fan, would have loved to be able to play it, I'm a big MMO guy as well. I play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV nowadays. Would it be legal if I obtained the game? And now, I think the game closed as well. I don't believe it's an active service subscription anymore. I don't even think the original Korean, Japanese, and Chinese servers are up anymore. I think those were the 3 environments. I think there's like Japanese servers, I think there's like a Singapore server, I think there's a Korean server. I might even be wrong, but I believe that was like similar to the setup. So now that the official servers, even though they were region locked, aren't up, can I access the game legally? Because it's kind of like, I think for Abandonware is the name, right? If someone is no longer actively selling the content, and they've, like, eschewed all methods of receiving payment for it, I think you kind of end up in a place where you can legally access it. Wow, he pushed me into the thing instead of hurting me. That's hilarious. I don't know. I'll see when the time comes whether or not it's viable to run Frontier content. But I would love to, because it's one of those ones that, like, I really only have a glancing view of the game. I think there were about 14 major content patches that brought in new monsters and areas and arenas every time. I think there's also an element, like, because of it being an MMO, there was a lot of pay-to-win factors in Frontier, unfortunately. And those factors are removed in the private server release, or you can. Things like only being able to do a certain amount of hunts per day, or being able to take certain, like, quests, I think was the nature of what was going on there. I don't think I'm going to be able to carve it, because these guys are too up my butt. You know, so it'd be interesting to do that. I know there's some Frontier-only monsters. I don't believe many of them have ever translated over to the other games, and I wonder if it's a canon thing. I say that because I think it was Lava Scythe was the only Frontier monster that's come over. I might be wrong on that, but that went into World, and I think it went into Rise as well, which is like a lava version of the Plesiah. Now, beyond that, yeah, I don't think there were. And the canon reason I'm saying is because, as far as I understand, the main, like, universe, if we're getting all multiversal here, contains all of the base games, like 1, 2, 3, Unite. I think it even includes the spin-off, like, Pokey Village, or, like, the one that From Software made. I believe that's in the main universe, even though it's kind of like a silly game. Rise, World, all these things are in the centralized canon. I believe Monster Hunter Frontier is the only game that exists in its own, like, parallel universe of Monster Hunter canon. So it has references visually and story-wise to other elements of the game, but independently, I think it's its own thing. Which means some of the monsters might just never occur in this universe if we're looking for, like, a lore version of it. Or some of the monsters were very, very, like, grind-heavy challenges, I guess. Like, there was a lot of speed challenges that I saw, a lot of, like, you know, variants of things, but, like, the Super Saiyan X 9000 Rose version or whatever, you know, like... There's a lot of fancy modifications onto existing monsters. I think Frontier has the most brutal Rathalos versions, because there's just so many of them. There's, like, Demon Lord Rathaloses, and, like, ones that are just question marks, and they have so many particle effects. I wonder how a modern GPU would chug through it. Nonetheless, an older one when the game was releasing. Now, I think it was also on Xbox. I think Frontier had an Xbox release, but again, like, Japan or Asia only. It wasn't just, like, cool North Americans who had an Xbox got to play the Monster Hunter MMO. And just as well, I think I don't know, like, it's an interesting thing to learn about. I'd actually like to dive into it and figure it out more, because there's a lot of games that get MMO versions, like, of popular Japanese series. Like, I think another one that I don't believe ever had a North American release was Dragon Quest, the MMO, or Dragon Warrior MMO in Japan, or just Dragon Warrior Online, or whatever it was. But that, as far as I know, never had a North American release. I think that was the game that the director of Final Fantasy XIV was making, or made prior to him shifting over to Final Fantasy XIV. And, you know, it's fine that these games have Japanese-only releases, because I get it too. Setting up servers outside of your country is a giant hassle. You have to manage them, and, like, if you have to do anything hardware-wise, you either have to have people physically there who you trust, or you have to send people from your office to go deal with it. Renting space and servers in countries that aren't your own, even while it's, like, standard industry practice nowadays, and lots of people have figured out ways to do it, and some people, you know, piggyback off of the big, like, hosting people, like, you know, Amazon, and they host most of the web nowadays. I think AWS is the backbone of most people's servers. So you can do stuff like that. You can set up your own. You can do it local. But I think setting up servers, managing servers, and then translations for, you know, live or updated content that's coming out really consistently, that's probably really tough. And I know how hard localization is. There's one game that my wife is actually playing. It's called Song of the Prairie, I believe. It's an early access game on Steam. And I think it's a Chinese-developed game out of Chongqing. I'm not good at pronunciations, but I believe that's where it's out of. And the game, insofar, is kind of like a really interesting mix of my time at Porsche and, like, what you kind of would have hoped the original Harvest Moon titles or Story of Seasons titles turned into. So it's really fascinating, but the translations are just so jank. And I have sympathy for it, because it's usually the last thing you do, right? Like, you wouldn't want to rewrite a sentence or modify a scene and then have to retranslate it every single time. It's like rendering, right? Like, you don't render every time you make a change. So, yeah, it's a reasonable thing to have standing out in a title that's not developed in English, but it also makes for a really funny playtime, it looks like. And again, it just kind of goes to showcase that, like, the skills you need to make video games aren't always, like, they're not language skills. They're a lot of development and understanding how to work with a whole whack of assets and then managing the performance of things and the variation between hardware and, you know, hitting all these unilateral development guidelines. And something like language, while it's really, really, really important to the player, it could actually be completely, like, disregarded from a development perspective. In that, you know, it's just another thing that they make pop up. It's no different than graphics, in essence, unless it's like a word-based game, and all the mechanics are based on, like, understanding a certain phrase, or, you know, where language is essential. Otherwise, it's just an element of what's going on, a piece of the pie. I should have, paintballed him, but I'll go back. So I see why it can be forgotten about, because, like, if you're trying to make a sword hit really, really good, you don't need to know the word sword. You don't need to know the word hit. You don't need to correctly showcase either of those words. If you're trying to develop, you know, something like that, you could very much have the tutorial later and just write in something that you understand, or you can get your playtesters to go against. And it's extensive too, because converting language is not just like, you know, converting a PNG to a JPEG or something like that. It's much more fluid, and it's kind of an art form in and of itself. I think that's why, like, back in the day with anime translations, fans generally had a better idea of the essence of the series, because a lot of the main producers, if they were translating to English at all, were doing very structurally similar conversions or translations, but they weren't doing thematic translations. Like, they were just adding stuff that made sense mechanically, even if it didn't really make sense with the theme, the story. Like, a lot of, and I'm not even, like, the major authority to speak on this. And maybe it's just a preference, too. But when you're watching, like, a Japanese show, and you're watching in Japanese, they'll use, like, the honorifics between people's names. Your Sans and Chons and stuff like that. And it just, you know, as I understand it, it displays the difference between age and seniority and the nature of the relationship you have with the person. But when you try and translate that into English directly, especially if you use, like, North American names, it can sound to me like insulting, and like you're missing the essence of it. Like, unless you're trying to be pure or something, or a purist with the language, I think for the most part, if you were, like, translating into English and you had, like, a character named Kevin, you would just call him Kevin. Like, you wouldn't have to translate into Kevin's song, even if, you know, whatever. I think that the mixes is where people get lost, because you're trying to convey a sentiment, you know. It could be where the honorific would translate, like, a familial relationship, but if you just put that into an English-speaking translation, somebody who doesn't know that means, like, this is this person's sister or something, will miss that connection. So if you're translating in English, you might be better suited to say, you know, oh, hey, big sis, as compared to, like, Oni-chan, or is that brother? I don't know. That's kind of all I'm saying. I'm just rambling while I'm trying to kill the Zyodrome. That's what I'm really doing. Because, like, I get the sense he's a few hits away. Yeah. And that's awesome. That concludes that that quest, finishing up the 5-star stuff. We got a Rathalos this time. Pulled the sword out of the stone, so we're like King Arthur and everything. And I guess I didn't look at the sword. It's because it's a sword and shield. Like, it's an actual weapon you can use, but I'm a great sword user. So, while it's nice to have more options, it's not really for me. I have no need. My Velociprey sword, Velocidrome sword here is... If I can carry all the way through the entire game with this, I'll be happy. That would be just hilarious to me. And it's kind of a shame to not see some of the old armor designs, but it's just the drop rates and the amount of money that you get from quests in this game makes it really, really hard to build up a set. Comparatively, like if I was playing, like when I beat Monster Hunter Rise, which is like the newest title, I think I had 5 or 6 sets, probably at the same point in the game, if not more, because you got more drops and you got more consistent amounts of items from things, which made, you know, building stuff quicker. Here, like, I got, what, 4 pieces of hide and some stuff? Either way, I feel like that's a pretty good amount of progress here. Put away some of the stuff that we got, all of these sacks and shrooms and scales and fangs. Head over to the bed to save and pick up from here next time. So thanks for checking out another episode of Monster Hunter.